So we got the Microsoft Xbox and Activision deal going on, which I'm all for it. I'm like, let it happen, right? Because I don't play this console war BS, right? I'm not 10 years old. I don't play console war. I own every console. I love each and every one of them in their own different way. They all do different things differently. But I'm all for the Activision deal because, you know, Sony's kind of been on their high horse lately, right? It's like, we got Call of Duty, you know, we don't need to worry about making Killzone or Resistance or anything because we got Call of Duty. And then you have a group of people that are like, well, Microsoft doesn't need to buy studio. They just need to make games. And I'm like, you do know Sony's doing the same thing, right? Like Final Fantasy 16 is not coming on the Xbox because Sony paid Square for an exclusive contract to keep it off Xbox. That's just as shady as Xbox trying to buy a company, right? And they do it with everything, right? So my thing is, your point about The Last of Us, right? We haven't got a new Killzone game. We haven't got a new Resistance game. We haven't got a new Jack and Daxter game because they're remaking Last of Us every 2 years. It's like it was on the PS3, they remastered it on the PS4 like a few years later. Then there was a patch for the PS4 remastered to make it high quality and better frame rate on the PS5. So you can count that as like almost another remaster. And then they remake the remaster of the what? And they charge $70 for it. $70. And people are dumb enough to go out and buy it. I'm like, guys, you can go to GameStop and get The Last of Us remastered for $5, and it runs 60 frames per second on your PS5. And guess what? Has the same cutscenes, the same dialogue as that $70 version you just bought.
Yeah, and that was a big controversy whenever the last one that they were talking about remaking. That was a big controversy. It's like, I'm not paying $70 for a game that I've played twice or 3 times already. I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. And then like on the topic of the merger, right? So Jim Ryan, right? He came out and was like,
Ryan.
Yeah, he came out and he was like, I don't care that I don't want a new Call of Duty game. I just want to squash the acquisition. And I watched Skill Up. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but he made a comment that, you know, he just said the quiet part out loud. I'm not worried about that comment. I am, just because he's making it seem like Call of Duty is the end all be all for games. And I don't even think that was their highest selling game on Sony last year. I think it was
no, it was.
It was?
Yeah, for the past 2 years, Call of Duty was their highest selling game.
No way, because Grand Theft Auto has been a high selling game for them for a long time.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, so but anyway, him saying that, right? It just kind of says quiet part out loud, and I have a problem with that because, you know, they're making themselves seem like the guy that's getting punched down upon, like Microsoft is punching down on them.
Yeah,
which is not true. You know, when they came out with the PS1, they got like $114 million squashing everybody under them, and they didn't didn't make any mention about you know, them having a monopoly or them taking over the gaming
PlayStation 2 as well, man.
Yeah, it did even better. Kicked Xbox's ass, you know what I'm saying? So, and they didn't say anything about it then. So all of a sudden now that Xbox might have a chance to really
challenge them a little bit. Yeah,
right. Now they're saying something about it. They don't care. It's not about that. It's just grimy business, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. What kills me is I don't like fanboys. Right? I like people who are fans of things. I don't like people who are fanboys. You know, like the definition of fanboy, like people that have blind loyalty to something and they don't see other things. Right? That's why I don't get into the whole console war shit. Like, I literally play on everything, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, what the hell has Sony made? They've been riding the coaster of Last of Us, Horizon, and Call of Duty for the past like 8 years. They don't have original games, and games that they do have original, they're not their games. They pay for those. Ghostwire Tokyo or Final Fantasy or any game that you think is a Sony exclusive, they're not. It's just they signed a dealing saying that you cannot put this on Xbox. They're paying to keep it off Xbox. That's the reason why 2 weeks ago, when Phil Spencer and the Xbox lawyers went to court and said, we want you to pull all the records of all their contracts for the past 4 years. Sony was like, no, you can't do that. And the court was like, why? You hiding something? And the court made them do it. And now you see the whole acquisition is turning around because now Sony is being exposed. You would be surprised at the games that they keep off Xbox. The new game, Silent Hill 2, right?
Yeah.
It's a timed exclusive on PlayStation. That's a third-party game. There's no reason why that's not on Xbox. Final Fantasy 16, no reason why that's not on. Forspoken, Square paid $100 million budget on Forspoken. The game burned because it was only on PlayStation. You would have sold a lot more copies if it was on Xbox. But Sony and Jim Ryan signed these exclusive deals to keep it off Sony or keep it off Xbox, and that's anti-consumer. So how is Microsoft buying Activision anti-consumer? It's not.
It's not. It's like all the moves that Sony makes are anti-consumer, and like all the moves for a long time, Sony has been like them. They say that it's selective, but recording, gamers so they can send it to their HR department or whatever, so people can get banned and stuff like that. It's like, dude, if you're online and you don't like what the person's saying, mute it or just go offline. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Yeah,
like, that person shouldn't have to suffer because he decided to trash talk you and you couldn't take it.
Absolutely.
So all of a sudden Sony, Big Brother Sony's coming down and saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. Ban you. You shouldn't be able to do that." It's like our interaction should stop at me buying your game. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, done.
You shouldn't be monitoring stuff like that unless you say something like stupid, like you're threatening somebody or something like that. But back when I played Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, and Halo 3, man, we said whatever the hell we wanted. You had to be a man to be in those chats, bro, because I swear to God, like some of the stuff that like we heard, like, man, but now like they're monitoring stuff, and to me, I don't know, man, the whole gaming scene is just really kind of, I don't know. I've been playing more retro stuff lately just because of reasons like that. But I hope the Xbox to Activision goes through. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure it's going to now because of the whole thing with Jim Ryan and stuff. Because I want to see competition, because I think competition makes out the best of things.
It does. Yeah.
Back when PlayStation got humbled with the PS3, they came out with that $600-700 console, and the 360 whooped their ass. They got humbled when the PlayStation 4 came out, and they started like making great games. And they've been at number one so long that they haven't put out anything new or original, right?
Right.
I want to see like Activision go to Microsoft start to compete a little bit, and then Jim Ryan or Sony's like, okay, let's put our money in it. Let's go full on with a new Killzone. Let's make Killzone our new franchise. And that's the thing. Jim Ryan's like, we have nothing to compete against Call of Duty. And then Phil Spencer said this came out a couple of days ago. He's like, well, we think 10 years is long enough for you guys to develop a competitor to Call of Duty. And it is. Like back in the PlayStation 3 era, man, they had Resistance Fall of Man, Killzone 2, Killzone 3. They had that 60-on-60 mag first-person shooter, which was kind of fun. They were doing different things, and now they're just like, we get Call of Duty every year, so we get the marketing. It's free money for them,
Yeah. I will say in defense of Sony, and it's like, dude, honestly, I've been a fan of Sony since the PS1. Before that, it was Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo. We've been through it, right? But when the PS1 came out, I was like, this is it. They got the great games, they got the great graphics. I'm all in on this. But with the moves they're making recently, I'm not in their camp as much. If they were to go out of business as far as consoles, if they were to stop selling consoles, I'd mourn them, but I would buy an Xbox Series XS or whatever and be totally fine. right?
Yeah, yeah.
But they just had a Senate Finance Committee hearing, and there was this representative. Her name's Maria Cantwell, right? And she was saying that they hold a 98% what do you call it, market share in Japan, Sony. But what she failed to mention was she took out Nintendo and PC gaming out of that. So she was straight out lying about that, and asking the committee to see if they could do something, talk to Japan about their anti-monopoly laws, pretty much shitting on Japan, right?
Yeah.
Coming to find out that this woman, according to Kotaku, she takes a bunch of money. One of her, some of her biggest contributors are from Microsoft employees. So it's shady shit going on both sides.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Still, Microsoft still comes out smelling like a bunch of roses compared to how Sony operates.
And I think every company has their pros. Every company has their pros. I think hands down, out of all the consoles, I think that the Switch is the best console. It's I think it's the best. Even in the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 era, I use my Switch more than those consoles. I think the games are funner. You know, it's like, man, Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, or you know, whereas all these other games on these other consoles all kind of feel the same. Horizon kind of feels like God of War. God of War kind of feels like this, you know. And I feel like video games have become movies now and not video games. And I miss like something like Metroid Prime. It's just very simple, man. You just go and you play it, you know. And now everything's like video games have become like the movie industry, where these superhero movies cost like $300 million to make. Now these video games like Forspoken, man, $100 million to make it. It's a game about something we never even heard of, and you think you're gonna get your money back? You know? No. It's like ridiculous.
And like the thing with Forspoken, I don't think the concept was awesome, right? You know, water concept, right? Don't get me wrong, it sounds interesting, but the way that she was speaking, you know, that's what everybody was like dunking on them about. It's like, the dialogue was so cringe, bro.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.